2 years ago, our visit to Atari found a company gorging itself with profits. Worldwide electronic violence was at its peak. In 5 years, Atari's video game sales had gone from $200 million to $2 billion. People here were fat with success, dumb about the future, and happy with what they were doing. Atari executive Harry Jenkins predicted with confidence.
We're going to see perhaps video games that are multiplayer games, people playing together as teams more. You're going to see a lot of exciting stuff coming in big production video games, I'd say, in the next few years.
What the 10,000 people at Atari did was continue to make video games to satisfy what they thought was an indiscriminate public appetite. The thinking then was that while sophisticated-looking games were nice, they would cost too much to make, and profits wouldn't be as high. So this was what they offered.
See, on the current game, when the ball comes up and hits the brick, it just disappears. We're going to add an animation sequence in there and have the brick dissolve out. The main thing here was in trying to get the feel of the pitch and the wind up.
But we had this observation 2 years ago.
Creating more realism is the biggest challenge facing video game manufacturers today. Players don't want to just participate, they want to be the game.
The people with the quarters agreed.
Have a little bit more detailed, have it a little bit harder.
Something a little bit more complex.
Atari never got the message. What happened virtually overnight, more than 6,000 people lost their jobs. The company collapsed.
The principal problem for us was that we had an awful lot of competition. 22 new companies got into the business in a 3-month period at the end of '82, and they put out an awful lot of product that was inferior.
There's been so many people and so many different companies that have just jumped into the industry and have come out with so many Me Too type games, and they've basically just bored the players to death.
Mike Halley, at Atari for 6 years, is the designer behind the company's biggest hope.
Let's see what this thing can do.
We were given the first public look at the video arcade game Firefox. It uses a laser disc and achieves what designers have sought for years.
Let the player interact with the disc itself.
There's not just a background picture with digital responses, but a player can see real-life action from his choices. Firefox will be introduced this weekend at a Chicago trade show.
We again feel that we're back on top of things.
Perhaps, but the people at Atari are painfully aware of their strongest competition. He's as unassuming as a modern-day David. His name is Rick Dyer, better known as the inventor of the laser video game Dragon's Lair.
We went from 0 to $30 million in orders in the first 40 days. It's incredible.
Dragon's Lair was originally intended as a home video game, but Dyer had no way of marketing his idea.
No one knew what a laser was. They would imagine a James Bond movie with a laser beam that cut someone in half. They didn't know what a laser disc player was.
How far ahead of the video game industry Rick Dyer is can be seen in something that may end up in the Smithsonian Museum. It's the forerunner of Dragon's Lair.
To show how fast the video game industry has changed, consider this, the first video game invented by Rick Dyer. It was developed in a garage in Pomona, way back in 1979.
This was Dyer's first computerized interactive game. It used cash register paper, a good omen of things to come.
The computer would, kind of like a player piano, it would roll the paper forward at a high speed and then stop, and you'd see a picture and some writing, and it would give you a list of choices.
From that, he developed a computerized film strip game, then added sound. It all led to Dragon's Lair that, even with a technical blackout flaw, revolutionized the young industry. Now Dyer is ready with Space Ace. The scripts and storyboard are done locally. The animation is by former Disney artist Don Bluth. This working video copy shows the sketches along with the finished layout.
Come on, use the aqua booms.
Space Ace has one sequence that could be symbolic in Dyer going head-to-head with Atari. The giant is shown destroying himself in pursuit of the smarter and quicker hero.
I think right now the arcade industry is playing catch-up to us. I know what's coming after the introduction of our home system. We have a sense of direction here, which is, I'm not sure that some of the companies like Atari have that anymore.
Tomorrow, something from Rick Dyer so secret we can't reveal its name. It won't be released until June, but you'll have the first public look in our final report. John Kalia, News 8.
There's a real pigeon in there.
Yeah, there is. Open it.
Inside this box is a carrier pigeon. The person who sent it wants a job interview with Rick Dyer.
I have never seen anything like this in my life.
People want to work for Dyer and his wife Jan because their company has the video game industry following their lead.
Dragon's Lair, a fantasy adventure where you become a valiant knight on a quest to rescue the fair princess from the clutches of an evil dragon.
Dyer invented and produced the laser video game Dragon's Lair. He just introduced the follow-up, Space Ace, that promises to duplicate the financial bonanza of Dragon's Lair, which had $30 million in sales in 40 days. The industry now finds itself wondering what will come next. In June, they'll find out.
This is a story about greed, about unbridled ambition and power lust, and the disaster resulting from those faults.
It's a computerized home laser video game so secret we can't reveal its name. But Dyer allowed us inside his Carlsbad headquarters for enough of a look that indicates the video game industry hasn't seen anything yet. For starters, the computer for the game is compared to the one in the movie 2001, A Space Odyssey.
It's like a living entity more than it is a machine. It also has what we call artificial intelligence, which is the machine's ability to learn. It knows what your strengths and weaknesses are. As he talks to you about the events, you see them flowing through the crystal.
Not much is remembered of those times, but the empty castles, the fallen temples, the lost grandeur of their cities haunt our legends.
To give you an idea of how labor-intensive animation is that as many as 24 of these cells are put on and shot individually every second. What we're creating is going to allow you to be anything that you ever wanted to be and experience it. You're gonna be there. You will live and die by your decisions.
Dyer is as unassuming as he is brilliant. Several times he caught himself telling us too much, a bit like a father bubbling over about a newborn child.
I'm being awfully trusting. I guess I haven't had enough media exposure. I haven't been burned yet. As far as Hollywood's concerned, Hollywood doesn't know we exist. You know, that's the way we'd like to keep it.
The atmosphere reflects Dyer's quiet confidence. People here seem unaffected despite being involved with the project that will likely set the industry on its collective video ear. His employees have varied backgrounds. Before coming here, Don Bennett worked on interior design for Boeing aircraft.
Much different than this, but not near as much fun.
Dyer's background is engineering, not art, but around the artists, he still knows what he wants.
Would be nice if you could make that shadow stronger.
The writing, art, engineering, and mechanical departments are all under one roof. Half the building is empty, for now.
In June, this warehouse will come to life. The new home video system that Rick and Jan Dyer have banked everything on will be shipped from here. And if test marketing is any indication, what they will have is your basic phenomenal success.
Dyer's research indicates once people play the new game, they'll be hooked. The average sitting time is 3 hours. These are rough sketches set to motion.
We're estimating that you'll be able to play the game 20 hours a week for 6 months before you will have explored the entire world.
Unlike standard video games that demand quick reflexes, the new project places a premium on thinking. You talk to the computer, and it will talk back.
The computer will say, John, did you just go to get a snack? And you would say, yes. You'd be kind of surprised. And it would say, well, I would appreciate in the future if you would excuse yourself before walking off on me. And that's a feature that's actually in this system.
The cost of the game is still secret, but we're told a standard color TV is all that's needed once you buy the game.
We're pioneers. We're doing something that's never been done. We have artists, we have writers, we have engineers, we have technicians. They're all working together, and that has never existed before. There's never really been a reason for those three groups to all coexist simultaneously. What we're really doing is combining art with science. My wife and I, as you probably can guess, are gambling everything we own on this, so it's kind of scary, but that's the sort of thing that makes you want to succeed.
Dyer recalls another person starting that way, a man who had everything under one roof and did pretty well. His name was Walt Disney. John Kalia, News 8.